मेधां मे इन्द्रो ददातु मेधां देवी सरस्वती मेधां मे अश्विनावुभौ आधत्तां पुष्करस्रजाः आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमधोबलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदम् माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोतु अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणमस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेयमुपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मये सन्तु ओम शांति शांति शांति. Hearty fraternal greetings and good wishes to all the brothers and the sisters. We come to the final session of teaching for this group life, and in the afternoon at 4:30 we have a valedictory function. So we therefore come to conclusion relating to the teachings upon the theme of Prithu, which is a very sublime theme in relation to the formation of earth, formation of beings on earth, and the facilities that are created upon earth and also in the human form to enable a splendorous living and also to enable fulfillment of the beings upon earth. The seers were responding to what the king said about the praise of beings of goodwill. The seers have also thrown out valid points as to why the sons of God or men of goodwill shall have to be respected by the common man. It would enable them to relate to the virtues in the others, by which virtues emerge within themselves. It also would enable them to get inspired by relating to the virtues in the men of goodwill. And that inspiration would enable evolution of their being. The seers also said, by not appreciating the virtues present in the men of goodwill and in the men of yoga, men tend to be ungrateful and even not very responsible. The men of the elders in the society are considered to be the ones who carry the wisdom of life, the art of living. So unless they are emulated and they are taken as role models and are followed, there is no way for the common man to evolve himself. And therefore the tradition of appreciating the goodwill among men should remain in the society. So when it is not done, there is a danger for the people not to find the related virtues for their own progress. The seers went even further. There are men who do acts of goodwill, and many who are very generous may not be very generous in their speech, in their utterance. A man may do much act of goodwill, but there may not be an expression of goodwill in speech. Expression of goodwill in speech also causes the related chemistry in the person. When we express, for example, when this kind of scripture is expressed, the one who is expressing and the one who is listening, both are getting benefited by such activity. When a scripture is expressed, the one who expresses is getting magnetized, and the one who listens is also getting magnetized. So, by suspending this activity of praising the divine qualities of the divine qualities in man, we suspend a great possibility for self-magnetization and the consequent self-transformation. Therefore, not only acts of goodwill are important, but also speeches appreciating such actions are also important. When we speak, for example, upon Jesus, or upon Pythagoras, or upon Krishna, or upon Rama, or upon Buddha, then when we relate to them, we relate to the great deeds that they have done. We relate to the great virtues that they express. In doing so, we are into a magnetic field by which we are put to better state of awareness than before. Every time before the class, we have one kind of energy. During the class, the energy takes to a regular form and then tends to get magnetized. When there is an irregular form, magnetization is not possible. But through speech, when the energies are all regularized, they are put to order, then there is transmission of magnetic currents into the orderly units of consciousness. So that way they give another very occult dimension. So we gather again and again and again and relate to scriptures and relate to the stories of initiates only for the simple reason that we get magnetized by such utterances. Why do we gather again and again? Why do you wish to listen again and again? We have been listening since 1987 very regularly, and we have been gathering on very many parts of the planet only to listen, isn't it? And I am also speaking varieties of themes, and it has become a regular habit. For what? For what? We know that by teaching I am better off, by listening you are better off. If you are not attracted to what is being taught, you would not come again and again and again. If I am not inspired by what I talk, I do not speak again and again and again, isn't it? The speaker is getting magnetized, the listeners are getting magnetized. This is a process that happens in a subtle manner, in an unseen manner, by which every speech which extols divine qualities, every speech which continues to extol, worship the divine qualities, that would create the needed chemistry in the utterer and in the listener. That's why two things are suggested by the seers. There should be an activity of speaking about the virtues of the divine, which are from time to time manifest in various initiates. See, the virtues are, they get incarnated in avatars and in grand initiates and in the disciples. So what do we relate into in the disciple, in the grand masters and in the great initiates? We relate to the virtues. So they said periodical expression of these virtues and discourses of these virtues is of great value to the beings to elevate from themselves from being mundane. We stay mundane when we do not relate to the divine qualities. We stay mundane. As I said the other day, every 1.5 hour in the morning, 1.5 hour in the evening, we are relating to something which brings an order into our energy system and also causes a kind of magnetism to that system by which there is an upliftment, a subtle upliftment. That's why we come again and again and again and again to participate, because the soul wants it. The soul wants it, while the personality may not be always have the same orientation. The personality may not be seeking the same orientation, but the soul somehow brings it over. It brings the personality and says the teachings would be nice, let us go to India. When you come to India, you will have cold, you will have headache, you will have fever, you will have diarrhea, you may not be able to sleep well because of change of place, change of bed, change of ambience, and also on account of various reasons, but still knowing all that, we keep coming again and again. What for the soul wants? Why does the soul want it? The soul wants it because the soul is inherently connected to the values of will, knowledge and activity, goodwill activity. The three aspects, Ichcha, Jnana and Kriya, these are most intimate to the soul energy. So, in spite of the personality, the soul prevails and brings over. And gradually you are relating to these virtues, either of the incarnations, of avatars, or men of goodwill, or the virtues as such. When we discourse about them, there is a transformation that happens in us. Therefore, it is necessary that there has to be speeches relating to the divinity as an activity on the planet. Speeches relating to divinity. And these speeches would be magnetic insofar as those who demonstrate speak. People who demonstrate values, if they speak, they have a magnetic impact. If people do not demonstrate values in their work, but they speak, they don't have a dynamic impact, a magnetic impact. So the listeners themselves would decide whether to listen to a speaker again and again and or not. Some speakers, when we listen once, we feel it's not necessary that we listen to him again. When some speakers speak, we don't feel like listening again and again and again. Why? Because he may be speaking with very good vocabulary, he may be speaking with a lot of knowledge of language, he may be speaking with knowledge relating to scriptures, but when his life is not a demonstration of wisdom, when his life is not a demonstration of wisdom, the related magnetic impact would not be there in the utterances. The utterances would carry magnetic impact when you practice wisdom and you utter. When you don't practice wisdom and you utter, it's okay, it is a good utterance, but it would not impact. It would not impact me. That's how the seers say, those who have been living wisdom, those who live wisdom day and night, and follow the laws of Manu, and follow the wisdom given by Jupiter, and experience the transcendental state by relating to the energy of Neptune, and generally carry that joy within themselves by virtue of their relating to the humor of the moon, all those 16 dimensions which are mentioned, which are linked up to the planet. Those who have realized them, when they speak, it has an impact. See, the speech of Jesus Christ impacted people. The teachings of Pythagoras impacted people. The teachings of any great master impacted the persons for cycles together, for hundreds and thousands of years together. Why? Because they lived the wisdom. So those who live wisdom, when they speak, such a speech also enables an upliftment. So therefore, you cannot say that only work is important and speeches in praise of divinity and divine action upon earth are not so very important. Don't say that. So the king started agreeing with the seers when they have put forth such points. And then the equanimity in the being is a great virtue. You are a very equanimous king. You are very equanimous. Your approach to beings is at level. A farmer comes, you meet him at his level. A businessman comes, you meet him at his level. A man of wisdom comes, you meet him at his level. A child comes, you relate to the child at his level. A lady comes, you relate to the lady at her level. You relate to the elders, you relate to youngsters, you relate to ladies, you relate to gents. You have demonstrated a kind of relation where you meet levels. Where you meet levels. That this is how King Prithu has met levels with every being by being tender to plants and children, by being stern with people who are disorderly or disobedient. While you are tender, you can also be stern. While you can be very generous, and you can also be very strict. In what occasions you have been generous, in what occasions you have been strict. Where you have to be strict, there if you are generous, then it falls. Where you have to be strict, there if you are generous, it falls. So for example, if we say 9 o'clock is the teaching time, we have to be stern about it. Yes, 9 means 9. When I give consultations, if I said 15 minutes per person, per consultation, never it ends in 15 minutes, which Johanna knows now. So I say it's fine. Why? Because people have to express themselves and they have to get their answers. So you can't be stern. 15 minutes means after 15 minutes we throw out the consulting. We cannot. People may not come on time. They may not come on time. They may take more time to receive consultation. Sometimes they seek a second consultation. In such matters, you have to be generous. But if they come to the class when they want and they don't come, they come late, they may not come. In such matters, you have to be stern, isn't it? So where you have to be stern, where you have to be generous, where you have to be tender, where you have to be hard, where you have to be obedient, where you have to be authoritative. According to situations, you have to be very authoritative or you have to be very obedient. So you have demonstrated so many dimensions according to the situation. According to the situation, that is where equanimity is demonstrated. When this is not shown to people through speeches, See, Krishna, with everyone he played at level. If the other is a strategist, he is a strategist. If his other is innocent, he is very protective. If the other is a politician, he is much better politician to meet. If the other is a statesman, he is a statesman. If the other is a warrior, he is equally a warrior. If the other is very loving, he is equally loving. So this is how he demonstrated the optimum level of equanimity. So when you do not show that equanimity as it happened with Krishna, with Rama, with avatars, how would people learn? How would people? In which situation, how we should be, how we learn? How do you relate to your spouse? A man relates to his spouse in one way. He relates to another woman in another way. He can't relate as he relates to his spouse to another woman. So these kind of things are demonstration of virtues, and the common people need to be informed of them. This equanimity has to be highlighted. Equanimity has to be highlighted. That is not highlighted, people cannot see. If it is shown to people, the people will try to emulate that quality. If a dog is biting, you will have to discipline it. If a dog is not biting, you can offer a biscuit to it, isn't it? So when to offer biscuit, when to discipline it, we should know. So you demonstrated varieties of qualities, divine qualities. Divine qualities. So unless those who can see, as they see when they do not inform, a great value may have descended and may have gone, and people do not see anything. They remain blind. Even while great beings have come and demonstrated, very few only could see it. Isn't it? And then when they express also, very few could follow. So if you totally take away this activity, it does more damage to the human society than otherwise. So therefore, it's another dimension that the seers have presented to the king. And then another beauty with you, as we see. The seers told the Emperor Prithu, another beauty that we see with you is, you have your impact by your behavior, but you have not involved into our activities. It's a great dimension. To ప్రభావమే కానీ ప్రమేయం లేదని అన్నారు కదా, అది ఉంది. See, the sun impacts us, isn't it? But does he involve with us upon earth? The sun. Does not the sun ray impact us? The impact is there, but the involvement is not there. This is a great quality of a high being. A great quality of high being. That your impact is there and you do not involve, and you do not step down from your state of awareness. Don't step down. But the impact is there. You see the magnet, its impact is there in the surroundings, but it is not involved with the other iron pieces. The best example is sun. He impacts the entire solar system and yet remains untouched. We as souls have to impact the personality, but do not get involved into personalities. We as souls are like the sun. Our personality is like the solar system, because it has already all the planetary energies in it. So impact your personality, but do not get lost in your personality. A king is the one who rules from the throne. The moment the king is on the throne, then the entire kingdom is in order. He conducts kingdom without getting into every bylane and small lanes, involving with small people, indulging into the activities of people. I give you another example. You see the light here. The light has its impact on us. It enables us to see each other better. It enables me to look to the scripture better. But is it involved with us? It is there, it is impacting us, but it is not involving in our day-to-day affairs. Even if we play cards here, or conduct an activity of gambling, the light is not involved. Under the light, you can do any kind of activity. Under the light, you can read scriptures. Under the light, you can have your breakfast, your dinner. Under the light, you can do gossiping. Under the light, we can fight. We can argue. We can get into conflict. The light is there, and its impact is there, but its involvement is not. Likewise, magnet, the lamp, or the sun, these are all examples given to show that they lend support, and it's for you to help. You have done like that. You are a being of a very high order. You are a being of a very high order. You have come down to help the beings upon earth. You have come down to help the earth as such, and you conduct it in a manner everyone feels you very intimate. Everyone feels him very intimate, and yet you are not involved with anyone. Is it not a very exemplary quality? Exemplary quality. You run the whole system by impacting but not by involving. You know, in the management books today they write that a good managing director of a corporate is one. That he is in his chamber itself is enough for the entire corporate to run. That the boss is in the room is enough for the workers to work. He doesn't have to go to every worker and meddle with his work. He doesn't have to go to every worker and meddle with his work, or go to every supervisor and meddle with his work. It's enough. He calls for review meetings from time to time, informs, and he keeps receiving reports, and he manages without going to everyone and involving with anyone. The best managing director is one who sits in his chamber and the industry runs, and he opens a good novel now and keeps reading it. He's at least గదిలో కూర్చొని హాయిగా నవల్స్ చదువుకుంటూ ఉంటాడు. దొరికిపోతుంది. అలా ఉంటాడు మేనేజర్ తప్ప ప్రతివాడిని వెళ్ళి గోకేస్తే. దట్స్ హౌ Prithu has demonstrated, which the initiates have seen. It's an impact without involvement. It's an impact without involvement. That means he is there, he is not there. He is there because, yes, the emperor is with us. That's enough for the people to self-regulate themselves. Just like, yes, the teacher is there, we have to be silent like that. When the teacher comes into the class, all children become silent, isn't it? When the teacher goes out, again the children would be like monkeys. Isn't it? Why, how could they be so silent when the teacher comes into the class? It is his impact. He doesn't come and say silence, silence, silence. The very fact he enters the room, everyone is silent. Is it not so? That is what is called impact. Without involving, without beating children. You don't have to beat the children. You don't have to tell people, be silent. Otherwise I will punish you. Nothing. That the teacher has come makes the children silent. That the sun has come makes people awake themselves. Even the dawn is happening, people awake, isn't it? So that is how you have been here impacting the whole planet and you haven't involved. You are the true one. You are the true knower. You are the true knower. అన్నిట్లోనూ చేతులు కాళ్ళు పెట్టేయక్కర్లేదు. పెట్టేస్తే వాడు దిగిపోతే అవు పనులు. Therefore, this dimension is beautiful, which we could see in you, and we need to speak about it to the people. We need to speak about it with the people. Another dimension which we saw in you, which the people should learn, is you have been a great servant of men of wisdom. He served the men of wisdom on the planet. That means there are already many other, as I said, during the Lemurian times, many yogis, many men of will, many men of fire, many sons of yoga, they have all come. He noticed them and he served them. While he is a king, he served the wise men on the planet. So however powerful you are, however kingly you are, when you encounter a man of wisdom, the law is that you shall serve him. You should offer hospitality to them. You would even wash his feet. You would offer flowers and fruits. You would offer food. And you seek their wisdom. Seek the wisdom from them. If you see in the story of Rama, he visited every ashram in the forest and he served every saint and received the blessings. The seers know that it is the avatar itself. Even when the avatar descends, it respected the wife. And Prithu is also a descendant from the origin. It's a descendant from the origin. When he came down, he respected people who are connected to the divine. A kingdom would always be safe when the wise men are respected. The kingdom is always safe when the ruler of the kingdom respects the wise man. When the king respects the wise man, the king receives more wisdom. Because the wise always transmit vibrations of wisdom, waves of wisdom. So therefore, when the king does it, even the commons also do it and they get benefited. A society where wise men are not respected is a society that is bound to fall. There are many stories relating to the kings disrespecting the wise men and thereby bringing the consequences of fall to themselves. In all legends you will find it. In all traditions you will find it. That the king should be respectful to the wise men or to the prophets and then be subservient to the prophets and seek advice from the prophets, from the initiates, and make amendments to his own way of doing things on the basis of wisdom flowing from the initiates. Such a king would rule the kingdom in a much better fashion. So this is one king who demonstrated he is himself an avatar and yet he respected the wise men of the earth. That's what he says. You have served like a servant. The men who knew Brahman, who knew Brahman and yet are living on the planet. The men who knew Brahman and yet live on the planet. For the ones who have related to Brahman and realized Brahman, all is Brahman. It makes no difference if he is on earth, or if he is in heaven, or if even he is in hell. Because all is Brahman. Once you realize that Brahman is everywhere, he is there in the hell as well, in the heaven as well, on the earth as well. Everywhere when he is everywhere, a Brahman sees him everywhere, relates to him everywhere. A true man of knowledge, there is no distinction between east and west. For a true man of knowledge, there is no differentiation between east and west. Even between north and south, or high and below, above and below. No above, no below. No left, no right. All is filled with Brahman. Isn't it? All is filled with Brahman. When you encounter a man who is filled with Brahman, only if you are an ardent student, you can recognize the Brahman, such persons. Not all can recognize. Not all can recognize. So therefore, the seers are saying, we have seen you in action. We have seen you in action. You served the initiates like a servant. It's not a small quality. And when the king himself serves an initiate, should not that be known to people so that the people also learn to respect the initiate, to receive enlightenment from the initiate? So normally, when the rulers go to a guru, then the common man will go in big queues to that guru. To an ashram of a guru, if a prime minister goes or a president goes, it is in the newspaper. It is in the newspaper. Then what happens? The common man feels inspired. Yes, I should also go there. Because even the prime minister went there, even the president went there. That's how it is. So we have to speak of your virtues and virtues of men like you, he said. We need to express these virtues for the benefit of the common people. This is another dimension that they have mentioned. And then One more dimension relating to Prithu was expressed by the seers. We have seen how you manifest the word upon earth. We have seen how you have manifested the word upon earth. We have seen how rhythmic you are in your manifestation. How rhythmic you are in your manifestation. We have also seen a very design, the very plan by which you manifest things. See, there is what we call receiving the word, giving a rhythm to it, and manifesting it according to a plan. These are the three steps. These are the three steps. So, whenever you receive a thought of goodwill, you should not be in anxiety to manifest it. You should see what rhythm would be suitable to this thought to be set to manifest. To manifest, what rhythms am I to observe? What rhythm? What timing? Timing is important, rhythm is important, and then a gradual plan of manifestation. A gradual plan of manifestation step by step. In these three, we find you exceedingly good. You are very extraordinary in receiving the word, meaning the plan, in setting a rhythm to it, and manifesting it in an orderly manner. Orderly manner. That's all about the whole game. Many people may receive thoughts, but they may not be able to manifest. Why? Because they don't have in their energy the knowledge of rhythms. The knowledge of rhythms. And then, even if they have the knowledge of rhythm and they have the ability to receive thought, a gradual, sustained implementation. You cannot just vomit the whole thing as a manifestation. It has to be manifested gradually. There should be neither too much speed in manifestation, nor there should be too slow manifestation. There has to be a very successive, sustained, orderly manifestation. These three are the three dimensions of Veda. These three are the three dimensions of Veda. Ability to receive the word is called Rigveda. Giving rhythm to it is called Samaveda. And manifesting according to a plan is Yajurveda. When you follow these three, then the manifestation is beautiful, the manifestation is sure, and the manifestation lasts for long cycles of time. That's how things are manifest by men of wisdom. That's why their work is sustained for long cycles of time. For example, this scripture Bhagavata, it came to him, to Vedavyasa, and he gave a rhythm to it by setting it to the principle of 12. The principle of 12, meaning it relates to the heart. There are 12 cantos to Bhagavata. And he has set it in relation to the 12-petal lotus, which is the lotus for indwelling God. Indwelling God called Vasudeva. Then accordingly he started writing the verses. reciting the verse in 12 cantos. And the scripture will last. The scripture will last till the end of Kali Yuga. So the scriptures are received, given a rhythm, and they are made to manifest. For Mahabharata, Vedavyasa has taken to the rhythm of 18. That's why he has also given the chapters in Bhagavad Gita which are also 18. All is 18 based in Mahabharata. And it is based on 12 when it comes to Ramayana. And when it comes to Bhagavata, when it comes to Ramayana, it is based on 6. Every seer has his own way of manifestation, taking to the rhythms, considering the kind of energy that they receive. What rhythms to be followed, how it should be manifested. How it should be manifested. These are things which can be done only men of complete wisdom. And Prithu is one such person. If we don't speak of you, people do not know. People do not. The work done can be seen only by the seers with respect to its order, its rhythm, and its influx. It's not trying to do what we want to do. It is trying to do what is needed to be done. The word shall have to be descended into us. As the word descends, so you express. As you express, do you express as you like, or you set rhythms and you set a plan of work to it? So in Prithu they found that he has adapted to all these 3 dimensions of Veda, and therefore it requires to be considered. So that's how they went on praising him in varieties of ways. The basic idea is when virtues are in action, when virtues are expressing through flesh and blood, those who can see shall have to see them and should also express them for the benefit of the society. For the benefit of the society. It does much good to the beings of the planet. Therefore it should be done. The king accepted. I agree with you, but in doing so, do not deviate from truth. That is what he said. In your expression of virtues, do not deviate from truth. Don't try to overblow. Don't try to overblow. Don't try to mitigate the value. Sometimes when we do not know, in expressing the virtues of an initiate, we may do more harm to him than good. When you do not understand what the initiate has done, with your little mind, if you interpret it, sometimes you do harm to him than good. So you should know what it is, and there is a responsibility of such expression. Don't make me a god at the same time. Overdoing is making a son of God a god. Isn't it? Son of God is son of God. You can't make him a god. So if you say Prithu is God, you would be doing, you are speaking untruth, and the impact of untruth will remain on the for cycles together. For cycles of time together. Yes, it is the father who expresses through a son, but the son is son, father is father. You can't obliterate the father projecting the son too much. That is what we do in Kali Yuga, isn't it? In Kali Yuga, we extol the son much more than the father himself. And therefore people do not orient to the father, while the son has come to ensure that the beings orient to the father. The work of every son of God is to ensure that the beings orient to the Father who exists in each one of us. But we orient more to the Son and forget the Father, then we haven't done what he has said. So that's why Prithu says it's a very slippery ground. When you deviate from truth, all your activity becomes a kind of foam where there is no water in it. That's the danger, you see. The moment you deviate from truth, what happens when the truth is not there, everything is like foam. In the foam there is no water. You can drink a palm full of water, but if you drink a palm full of foam, nothing gets into your throat. Everything is dried out in the mouth itself. Isn't it? So the king says, do it, but do it with responsibility. Do it with responsibility. Do not speak untruth. Do not speak untruth. Do not overblow. Do not underblow. Let truth prevail in all expressions. Don't sell untruth as truth. Don't sell untruth as truth. That would be causing great damage to the masses, because the masses are like sheep. The mass of the human beings, the common men, are like the sheep. So you show them a direction, they just keep on going in the direction. Even if it leads you to a big hole, a bottomless pit, people keep on walking towards it. So therefore, be specific, be accurate, be precise. Whenever you present the truth, when such a truth is in manifestation. He said so, and he has ruled as many years as was required. And during one of his movements in the backyard of his palace, one day it so happened when he went to the backyard of the palace where there is a garden, suddenly he saw the Lord Sanat Kumara in his garden. The Lord Sanat Kumara was in his garden. And the king was surprised to see he is the mind-born son of the Creator. Sanat Kumara is one of the 4 sons of the Creator, mind-born son. And he is on this planet as the ruler of this planet, as the king of the planet. He is the divine king relating to the planet. He stays in Shambhala. And he himself came into the garden of the King Prithu. It's another unique event in the life of Prithu. Normally people think of going to Shambhala, no? But the Lord of Shambhala himself coming to meet someone is a very rare event. He came, and then the King Prithu could immediately recognize him. And he prostrated before him. He has given all hospitality and said, I am blessed by your presence. May I do anything for you? Then Sanat Kumara himself said, with you as the means, I wish to give the path of yoga to the beings on earth, which are described as the teachings of Sanat Kumara. Sanat Kumara volunteered to express his knowledge with Prithu as the means, and that is what we gave out earlier as the 24 teachings of Sanat Kumara. It came via Prithu for the benefit of the beings. That's how the story of Prithu is. So there are 4 dimensions relating to this story. One is the descent of Prithu, with the details of 20 to 21 intelligences finding their active functioning in him. That we have to recollect. So that those intelligences also get stimulated in us. Then the second step is how Prithu, with the help of the intelligences and with the cooperation of the earth, linked various intelligences around the earth. How did he link them with the earth and with the related centers in the human body? That is the second dimension. The third dimension is the dialogue between Prithu and the men of wisdom. The fourth one is the teaching of Sanat Kumara with Prithu as the means. So these are the 4 aspects related to the great Emperor Prithu, which we have been able to successfully deliberate during this group life. It can be revisited in our mind from time to time, because it has certain very fundamental principles that enable us to awaken many things within us and to gain cooperation with the surrounding cosmos, and thereby cause a kind of healthy evolution relating to our being. So that is all about the seminar. I finished even early than 10:30. So that's how you may, when time permits, I will try to list out in an order what were the intelligences with which Prithu himself has come down, which are 20 to 21, and what are the 16 dimensions that he linked in a very brief manner. These 2 have to be, and then the catechism between the king and the wise man. These are the 3 dimensions. The 4th dimension is already in a book, and it is doing very good work. The teachings of Sanat Kumara, that is a complete scripture by itself. The beauty of the great initiates is, see, our scripture Bhagavata is like in 12 volumes like this. So the whole synopsis of it, you would get it in every single teaching. Like teaching of Sanat Kumara, it's complete by itself. Teachings of Kapila, complete by itself. That's how it comes. So therefore, we have already the teachings in the print which we can follow. And this would be a supplement to it, because to recognize the intelligences in us and to relate to the intelligences around us with the help of this body, and then evolve in a much more splendorous way, in a much more roundsome way. That we'll try to do when time permits. In the meanwhile, persons like Ludger will be working on it to bring them to some order. That would be helpful. Thank you. You are free till 4:30. At 4:30 we all meet.